Modding. It's always been a massive part of Mount & Blade and its history and why it's been so successful. From the days of Mount & Musket that inspired the Napoleonic Wars DLC, the massive co-op mods like Full Invasion and the single player total conversion ones, it's one of the massive reasons that the game has somehow lasted for so long. But what mods can we expect and are already planned for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord? Well, I just want to state before we get into the video that modding tools won't be released until the full version of Bannerlord comes out next year, so not in early access. So potentially a lot of these mods won't come in anytime soon during the early access phase, but some of the smaller ones are definitely possible. And I'm sure we're going to see some incredible mods in the early access since the beta has already started bringing out mods, so surely that's possible as well. But sit back, relax, and in no particular order, enjoy my top 10 incredible mods coming to Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. If you haven't joined yet, you have 8 more days to join my giveaway for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord in its early access form when it comes out on the 31st of March. If you want to do that, make sure you click the link in the description and the pinned comment before you are out of time. At number 10 we have Kingdoms of Ardor. This is a single player and multiplayer total conversion mod for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, and yes, it brings the game into the Tolkien history and lore, into the Lord of the Rings that we all know and love. This includes all the characters, locations and the weapons, and of course all the scenarios and things that you would expect during the films and the books. Not only does it include Lord of the Rings, but The Hobbit, The Silmarillion and other works by Tolkien and media made for his universe. But what can we expect in this Lord of the Rings mod? Well, of course, the Middle Earth as the campaign map. We saw this in other mods such as the Last Days of the Third Age mod from Warband, and of course Blood in the West, which was one of my favourites. It also has multiplayer, so not only is this going to be a single player conversion, but a multiplayer, and most of these mods are trying to put multiplayer in as well, which is going to be very exciting. Now it's doing something different to Bannerlord. Mount & Blade has always been this RPG where you take yourself on your own quest, but because this is based in the Lord of the Rings world, they want to do it a bit differently. They're adding in a whole new story mode, where you can play as your favourite characters in scenes from the books and films. Over 35 new factions that you're going to be able to explore, recruit, and encounter during your world, with custom map icons and custom scenes. Now, the characters you'll run into throughout the world are going to be from these books and pieces of media in the Lord of the Rings universe and the lore. There's going to be all the playable races such as the elves, the dwarves, the Dundanes, the orcs, the hobbits, the goblins, the uruks, pretty much everything you can expect. Of course, there's going to be all the creatures like trolls, ents, mumakills, wargs, and many, many more. It's pretty much going to be the full Tolkien universe in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. But what if you want to join the Fellowship? Can you take to the quest of the ring to destroy it in the Mounts of Mordor? Well, yes, you can. If you want to join the Fellowship, you can if you're present at the Council of Elrond during the storyline in the game. If you have the right amount of influence, they might let you join. But what if you want to do something a bit different? Well, if you're an evil character, you're also able to oppose the Fellowship and halt them on their quest throughout the way, so it's not so linear as you might have thought. It has different stories and different ways that you can manipulate the story throughout the mod. But I know the question on everyone's mind. Can you just go in and kill Aragorn? Can you slaughter Legolas? I mean, good luck with that, but can you do it? Or can you chuck Samwise Gamgee into the pit of Mordor himself? Well, yes, it is possible to kill pretty much anyone in the game, even the more known characters, but of course they're not very likely to die since we all know how overpowered they are. There's even probably going to be some plot armor in the game itself, not just in Lord of the Rings. But characters like Nazgûls and things like that also have a story to their death. You can't kill them until Sauron is destroyed, so keeping in with the lore. At number 9 we have the World of Ice and Fire. Now we don't have too much information on it, but as you can guess, it's made by the same people that made the Warband mod, taking Bannerlord into the world of Game of Thrones, with all the factions, the Lannisters, the Karstarks, I don't know why I put them second, but the Lannisters, the Karstarks, the Starks, the Targaryens, pretty much everyone you can expect, recruiting all these different troops and armor from every single places. Things that I'm most looking forward to is the increase of details, using the possibility of Mount & Blade's new engines and textures to look at the new armor, the weaponry, and of course the castles, recreating the siege of Blackwater or the trade carriage battle. Some really awesome things are going to be possible within this mod, but once again, it's going to be a big one, so we might have to wait for the full release of Bannerlord and its modding tools. Rome is a mod that I am most looking forward to personally. I loved the Mountain Gladius of old, the shield battles of March of Rome, and boy are they going to be coming back. But I want to add a quick point. This mod was announced in 2013. Yes, I know, that was quite long ago, meaning that maybe there's a chance that it isn't in development anymore, but nonetheless, we can expect that there's going to be so many Roman mods anyway, so this is more of a general Roman mod placing in my list. One of the most popular multiplayer mods of Warband was Mountain Gladius, so it would be very weird and a shame if they didn't bring something like that back. This mod was supposedly single and multiplayer, bringing people back into antiquity, where Rome was at its height in power. Imagine the armor, the weapons, the scenarios, Teutoburg Forest, the Siege of Carthage, Cannae. I can't wait to see what modders can do, bringing Bannerlord into ancient Rome. I mean, how hard can it be? The Empire that are in the vanilla game are already the descendants of the Romans, using very similar troops and armor. Battanians in Bannerlord are pretty much fitting the mold of the Britannic hordes anyway, Caledonians, etc. So hey, maybe it won't take so long after all. We have Sega Hara. This is, of course, the Warring States of Japan mod, focused on historical accurate armors and the helmets of each warlords with high quality models and textures. Now, we don't know too much about this mod like many of these in the list, but it's obvious where it's coming from. Gecko Kuju, one of the most popular mods for Mount & Blade Warband, the fight for leadership, the fight for glory and power over Japan and its people. Take to the battlefield with soldiers throughout the eastern world, siege castles and become the victor across the land of the rising sun. Karl Miraz. This is a confirmed single and multiplayer total conversion mod for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord that aims to bring the Warhammer Fantasy world during the final years of the Empire to life. This will include characters, locations and famous items from the Warhammer Fantasy tabletop game, the Warhammer novels, and of course other media surrounding the franchise such as canon video games. Now, these Warhammer Fantasy mods have always been around Mount & Blade. They were very well known in Mount & Blade Warband, but no one really took it into 40k, and I think that's something that I'd really like to see. Maybe that could be an additional mod on the side of this one. Karl Miraz will have a single player campaign, also multiplayer, dozens of factions and races, lore-friendly heroes, lords, characters such as Karl Franz, Ludwig Schwarzhelm, and Kurt Hellborg, hundreds of custom locations and accompanying scenes like Ardor, Middelheim, and of course Erlengrad. It's also going to have some cool new custom missions and side quests that you can do, adding a bit of a story to your RPG in Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. There's going to have so many different factions, races that you're going to be able to play as, and it's pretty much going to have every faction that is in the Warhammer Fantasy. Maybe not on the first release, but eventually they're going to be added in. They don't have a precise date when it wants to be set, but more likely just before the end times, during the Imperial reign of Karl Franz. But I think this is going to be something really exciting and a great total conversion mod for Bannerlord. Moving on, we have Feudal World 2. I don't really know if this mod needs all that much explanation. It's basically Feudal World, or a more commonly known mod, Persistent World, in Bannerlord. An open world multiplayer conversion with castles, factions, jobs, RPG elements and all-out warfare. The size increase of Bannerlord's maps and of course the player increase is going to make a massive difference in this particular mod more than a lot of other multiplayer mods. And boy, is it going to be big. Getting a job as a woodcutter or serf, a crafter maybe, or even a blacksmith. Moving on to a soldier, and later maybe even a lord in your faction. It's completely up to you, and if you want to see some proper content on the Persistent World mod that was in Warband, go and watch the jam pad so you can prepare yourself and what to expect for when it comes to Bannerlord. Full Invasion 3. Say no more. The next mod in the Full Invasion franchise, defending towns, cities, camps, or just your lives. In a multiplayer co-op mode, you have to defend against hordes of enemies. It doesn't matter what time period, Spartans, medieval, World War II, aliens, or even My Little Pony. Everything is on the table for one of the best mods that ever came to Warband, and I can't wait to see what it brings to Taleworlds' new game. Now, the Old Gods is a really cool mod that I thought I'd add into it. If you liked mods such as Brightonwalder and of course the DLC of the Viking Conquest DLC, then you're going to love this one, because the Old Gods is a total conversion mod for Bannerlord that will bring in the Vikings into the game. Now this is probably not going to be too tricky since Sturgia are pretty much the Nords anyway, but it's going to add in a large map that stretches from Iceland to Arabia. It's going to have multiplayer elements to it as well, making shield wars and having these massive Viking battles. There's going to be so many different factions to play as, invading from the sea or defending on land. You're going to experience so many troop trees, new weapons, armor and mounts, and of course historically themed banners, companions and new siege equipment that we haven't seen or we won't see in the native game for Bannerlord. At number 2, we have Monsters from Men. This is a modification set of the Witcher franchise. Now I might want to add, this is set outside the normal Witcher game series and novels, so it's going to a new land. So if you're not interested in exploring new parts of Witcher lore and its franchise, then this mod might not be for you, and I'm sure there'll be mods coming later on that do explore the Witcher that we know and we've seen before in the past. But I think it's awesome, and why I added it to this list, because it explores something that hasn't been addressed in any other media. It adds a dynamic new content of Zehovar, in-depth factions, conflict and diplomacies, new mercenary mechanics, dynamic quest boards in villages and towns for hunting monsters and bandits alike. So if that's your thing, you can be a bandit or a monster hunter as your job. I mean, it's Mount & Blade, do what you want. There'll be all the new weapons and armor, and of course, the most exciting thing, a magic system in Mount & Blade 2, Bannerlord. Now, as I said, this list is completely out of order in no particular way. These are not the ones I prefer the most. As I said, the Rome one is probably going to be the one that I'm most looking forward to. But at the number 1 spot, we have Fall of Ardor. This might not seem like a total conversion or something massive, but I think this is very interesting and one that a lot of people have already been asking for. It's a persistent website-based mod, a bit like CRPG was for Warband, but also an invasion-based mod like Full Invasion, melding those two worlds together. I'm guessing, since we don't have too much information, that you'll be defending against hordes and hordes in a co-op style game in Mount & Blade. Then you're going to go into the website where you're going to be able to use your XP and coins that you've earned through defending through the game to buy new weapons, armor, skills, and all that sort of thing. More like a real persistent RPG. Yes, it is persistent, so it's going to stay with you throughout the games you go to, no matter which server you join, since it's all website based. Now, the website has already been stated to be ready to go, so this could be a mod that comes out pretty soon on the early access rota for Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. They just have a few more things that they need to get done, and who knows, I don't think this is going to take too long, since all you need is AI, which are already in the game, obviously. And I mean, the beta enhanced battle mode mod already has done that. You just need to automate the AI spawning and hordes and things like that. So maybe this could be during the early access, the timing that this one comes out. I think it could be really interesting to see a more persistent website-based mod in multiplayer. Yes, this is strictly multiplayer. But that's my top 10 list of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord mods. I can't wait to see how they all pan out. But make sure you leave a comment of your top 10 list, or maybe even your top 5, or maybe even your top 7.6 mods of Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord, because, I mean, you might not be so confident on the rest of them. But make sure you join the giveaway if you haven't. Click the link in the description if you want to do that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for many more videos on Mount & Blade 2 Bannerlord. But until then, I will see you in the next one.